Ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to start talking about the holidays. Here's a little Wham! In Last Christmas.
Last day. I like this.
I'm proud to introduce my partner in crime every Tuesday at 3 p.m., Grant Miller.
Grant Miller here. I got to be really quiet. Grant Miller here, Miami Community Newspapers. It's a great day. Can we put this video on? Mark and I have a special relationship. Last Saturday was Small Saturday.
Small Business Saturday. That's right,
now
my friend.
Now it's not just Small Business Saturday. It's going to be Small Business Season.
That's right.
We're going to go through. Can you put this video on?
And while they put...
Hey, everybody. Grant Miller here. Miami Community Newspapers. We're well-groomed gentlemen. Why are you getting your beard shaved again?
It's the end of November, so I thought I would combine its removal with Small Business Saturday here at the Well-Groomed Gentleman.
Also pick up the Coral Gables news right here.
Hi, I'm Brian Barracat. I'm the chairman of the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce, and we're here at the Well-Groomed Gentleman for Small Business Saturday.
Buy local, shop local.
The best part of coming to the Well-Groomed Gentleman is the washing of your hair and scalp massage. And William has fingers like a magician.
So one of my favorite indulgences after getting my hair cut is to get a mani and a pedi, and no one does it better than the team here at Well-Groomed Gentlemen. They take care of you from head to toe.
But, by the way,
I'll put on your mask so people can see the special mask we had made.
I love this. And who designed this for you?
It was designed by Morgan Mongilia from the Chamber's team. She's our communications manager, and so she put this together and worked with Martin Morcillo from Smash Pixel to get them produced.
Yeah.
And we did something special. It's got our brand on it, and it reminds you to shop small, shop local.
And we have a glass in between us. We're very safe. But that was an exciting day for the Chamber and the SBA people. The SBA lady, what was her name?
Althea Harris, and she was in that video with our chairman, Brian Barracat. And listen, we've had a great partnership with the SBA for the last 15 years. We have something called an SAM, a Strategic Alliance Memorandum, which is basically a pledge to work together, a pledge to support each other's programs, and also just be great partners, especially on programs like Small Business Saturday. Bigger than that, of course, the SBA will be getting probably a new leader under the new president's administration. During President Obama's tenure, he elevated the SBA administrator to a cabinet level post. And so I would imagine that Joe Biden will do the same and bring that position into the cabinet. Very important for our business recovery, and couldn't be more important than now in terms of our return to normalcy post-pandemic and getting everybody vaccinated.
But I got to circle back. This idea that American Express did with Small Business Saturday, and you guys are continuing promoting it through the season. It is exciting. And that jewelry store, what jewelry store was it at?
We were at Jay's Jewelers, third generation jewelry family, run right now by the dad, Bruce Hornick, and his daughter, Jill Hornick. And you know what? They are the quintessential business in Coral Gables. Been there a long time. Everybody knows them. Maybe you haven't been in there in a while. Now's the time to do that. But they've also evolved with the times. So Santa was there. A rather hirsute, slimmed down Santa. Yeah, wasn't the typical, needing 8 reindeers to get you off the ground. A good 5 could get you off the ground, Grant.
Okay, so we got holiday, Thanksgiving. Let's get a recap what's happened with the Chamber and the surrounding areas.
So, we just wrapped up a great November. I'm really proud to tell you that we added 15 new members to the Chamber. That included 5 new trustees. So in the last 3 months, we've only added 7. So 5 of those came in the month of November. So I think people are beginning to feel a little bit more comfortable and confident about spending some money, getting involved in their local chamber. And I would encourage you all to continue to do that. Look at your business plan into Q1 of 2021, and in December, either renew your membership, upgrade your membership, or join your local chamber. And so that's a great segue into today, December 1st. We do it all again for another 31 days. There's no rest for the weary, and our team is plugging away.
The chamber is rolling right now, feeling good.
Listen, we're very blessed. We have a very great team behind what we're doing, and so you've got Morgan on the line right now. Not anybody or everybody's taking time out of their schedule to come and chat with you, Grant, and I really appreciate you affording us that opportunity each week. We're going to be back here next week and start featuring some of our gem level members, and I know we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the chamber's really cracking the whip in terms of helping businesses see their pathway to recovery. They can't do it only by themselves, and so we're there to be a resource. And last night I was on a 4-hour town hall workshop about the future of Miracle Mile and development. I know we'll talk a little bit about that, but close to 29, 30 people ended up speaking at the public hearing, but over 280 participated throughout the 4-hour workshop.
We're trying to get a link to that. But...
Well, I'll see if we can help you with that, because it was certainly recorded, but I was on live the entire time. And, for the most part, I think the city did a good job of really explaining what their plans have been in terms of modernizing the zoning code, making some recommendations. City of Miami and other cities have gone through this. I think people want to draw parallels with Coral Gables, with a Beverly Hills or a Georgetown or, Charleston or Savannah. But Coral Gables does have a uniqueness. I see our friend Kristen Rosen-Gonzalez was talking about that and preserving what makes Coral Gables unique. And I think the chamber can be a partner in that while allowing for some modernization in certain parts of the city. Miracle Mile is a 4-block, 1 mile up and back
Is that 1 mile
street.
each
So
way?
it's a half a mile down and a half
good,
a
'cause
mile
I
back.
walked that and I was exhausted.
Well, you went 2 blocks and fell over, but other than that, there seems to be a theme here
Yeah,
today.
what's up with the SBS review? What's that?
So that's Small Business Saturday, and so I think we've had a good chat. I visited a dozen different stores. So we kicked off at Jay's Jewelers, and then we were off to Violetta's, and then had a quick coffee at Crema. They have 3 locations, their company, 3 different entities and locations on Miracle Mile, including Copper 29, things that folks love very, very much. Then it was off to Clutch Burger to see our friend Stephen Bradley. Lunch at Threefold Cafe. Thank you, Nick and Teresa.
And Brian came to the groom place.
He did. He had just flown in from Hawaii, where the family had a week-long vacation, and took the red eye back. So he went to Threefold and got himself, I think, probably a triple
and
espresso to kind of perk him up, because they had landed in Dallas around 6 a.m.
And what I love what Brian did, he could have went to Starbucks.
Sure.
But that profit doesn't stay in Coral Gables. It goes all the way to Washington. Everybody likes, but going to Threefold, it sends a message to everybody: buy local, shop local. And Threefolds is a member with you guys.
They are, and they support local. And I think Nick would want me to let you know something very exciting. They had a soft opening this past weekend at his newest concept, Bay 13
Where's
Brewery. That is located right around 75 Alhambra Circle, so right across from the Hyatt, which is at 50. It's just catty
Isn't
corner.
there a dance studio right across the street there?
You do have that in that same strip of retail. You have Fred Astaire, Vera and Vlad.
Do you dance?
Oh, Vera used to be my teacher. Do you know that?
Where there?
I took lessons for about a year when they first joined, and it was a lot of fun. And it was great for fitness. No, it was a way, though, that I was out of the office every single Monday at 4:00 because I'd go and have a private lesson. And then sometimes I would stay for the open dance. I met some great folks. They teach you what's called the smooth dances. So you're learning the tango. I don't know if I'm any good anymore, but at their grand opening, she and I did a performance that we had planned and rehearsed, and then we performed at the grand opening, which was a lot of fun.
Now,
I know it's hard for you to imagine, but women.
Oh no,
women find me irresistible.
What?
I know it's a pain for you, but they find me irresistible. We were just talking about one of them,
Kristen.
Jealous. Kristen, you get very jealous of our relationship, but it's okay. She's got plenty of joy to go around this holiday season.
Okay, so Cypher weekend. What's happening? Do it. Let's do it.
Which weekend?
What do we got going? Some special weekend going?
I think every weekend is special. So, what I want to encourage people is while Small Business Saturday was a strong focus on shopping local and supporting local, many of these stores need your support through the entire month of December. So even if you're looking to shop online, many of them have very good e-commerce opportunities. I was looking over the weekend on Violetta's website, and Patricia and her team have done a great job. And so I was looking for a couple of the items I had seen in store. I saw them online. I've purchased from her online before, but don't be afraid to look locally even for online options. That hasn't always been the case. and it's been easier to go and buy from a bigger box retail or go to an Amazon, and those are great. But our local folks have been working the last 8-9 months to build really strong e-commerce sites. Check them out. Start with Violetta's. I bought on Cyber Monday from Books and Books.
Locally owned.
Locally owned.
Is he a movie director or
He's
producer?
a producer. He's got a movie out right now. I did see it.
Is it too long? It seems 2 hours is a little long.
It's about 2 hours, 10 minutes. It goes very quickly because it has your heart racing. It scares you a little bit. And, you're just drawn
Went to the
into...
Gables. What theater?
It was both at the Art Cinema and maybe it was at the Landmark. I can't be sure.
Where's Landmark?
Landmark's at Merrick Park.
And that movie, did it have good popcorn? That's a big issue.
So I'm a big popcorn.
Me too. I love
kind of snob. So when I go to Landmark, butter.
Oh, I gotta wash my waist.
Butter. Yes, Santa. So Landmark is one of my favorites. That's located at the Shops at Merrick Park, 3rd floor, next to the Crate and Barrel. And what's super cool about that place is they get great movies. There are 7 houses there and theaters within the theater, and they're all very intimate in size. And right now they're socially distanced. I have been to a movie probably every weekend since they reopened, and one weekend I saw 3 in a row because I was so far behind. I typically go and see at least 2 movies a week.
Really?
I love movies.
And Mark, you have never invited me.
I knew somehow that was going to be where we turned.
But I can't go.
My concern is that
I don't like butter.
You like a little bit of butter.
Okay,
right?
no, this is how
Here's how I like my popcorn done.
Okay, I like a big thing of popcorn.
Yep, I get the big size,
and then I get a bottle of water, the big one.
Okay,
and then I get a big bag of M&Ms.
Okay, so we're basically the same people.
What?
We're basically the same people because not peanut or regular M&Ms.
Peanut.
Yeah, of course. So I get the big bag of popcorn.
Are we like twins?
I think so. I get the large Dasani or whatever water they have.
Me too.
The big one. And then I get the large popcorn and I have them fill it halfway,
Cuban coffee for you?
butter it.
Boy,
I could smell that. I'm like a bloodhound. I could smell that somebody was making cafecito somewhere within your confines. And let me tell you something. I hope that you have taken very good care of this lady.
Oh,
because that looks to me like
Denise, how long you been
something
here?
special.
20 years total.
Oh, that's fantastic. You can set that right there for me. You are the best. Second thing I will say is that I like my popcorn halfway filled, buttered, filled up to the top, buttered, and then I put some kind of cool, cheese salt or something on it.
Wow. Well,
And then I eat about half of it, and then I'm sitting in the movie. It hasn't really even started yet. Maybe it's the previews. And I'm like this, disgusted with myself. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I have M&Ms. So then I create the sweetness, and then I can go back to the popcorn. And then I'm, of course, enjoying my giant jug of water. And, I'm going to see, I've already bought my movie ticket for Sunday.
Which one? What movie?
I am going to be seeing, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I don't know why. It's the movie it's called The Prom.
Wow.
It's called The Prom. It's based off of a Broadway play. And I saw, so CBS Sunday Morning is my favorite show on TV. I watch it every Sunday, 9 a.m. And it's with Jane Pauley. And they always preview, a movie or a book or have a profile. And so they did a profile of James Corden, who's one of the stars of The Prom. And guess who's in the movie with him?
Who?
Meryl Streep. So the whole idea is that these are kind of washed up Broadway actors and they're looking for a redemption. And so they head to the Midwest to help 2 young ladies who are lesbian lovers and had dealt with some issues at their school, and they bring The Prom to them. So I love James Corden. So I'm like, who is this guy? Next thing you know, he's got his own late night show, and now he is the talk of the town. But he'll be one of the stars along with Meryl Streep, and Nicole Kidman is in the movie too.
Have you seen the series Undoing?
So I have not. I have been TiVoing it because I'm a big fan of Nicole Kidman, and so I've got all the episodes ready to go. But I was changing over from Uverse to Xfinity, and so there was a little bit of a delay.
Okay, can you play this next video? This is from Saturday, our wonderful day at Saturday.
Oh,
Brett Miller here, Miami Community Newspapers. It's Santa time, but better yet, shop small in Coral Gables with Mark from Coral Gables Chamber. What's up, Mark?
Let me tell you, you've never looked better. You've never looked slimmer, Santa. Mark Trowbridge from our Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce, and today is the 11th anniversary celebration of Small Business Saturday. Bigger than that, we're right here on our beautiful Miracle Mile, encouraging all of you listening and watching to make sure that you come out and shop small today. Support the businesses that support you each and every day in the City Beautiful. We'll be kicking off here in a few minutes at Jay's Jewelers in honor of their third generation, 75 years serving the good people of the City Beautiful. So even if you're not ready to go outside, many of these folks have amazing online opportunities for you to shop. And today's the day to support local businesses. They create 2 out of every 3 jobs, and more importantly than that, they need your support more than ever. Thanks everybody, and we'll look forward to celebrating all day long today in the City Beautiful.
It's exciting is that you had Channel 6 there.
We did.
Channel 7 there.
Yes.
Was it Univision?
Univision.
And it's very exciting. And of course,
More importantly, Miami's community newspapers
Miami
and Tommy.
newspapers not owned or controlled by any national media.
Oh,
You like
so
that
all
one?
of your news is fit to print.
Fit to print and local. And
So let me just say 2 things for Tommy in the future. He's going to remind me if I have something on my head that I shouldn't. And I think I had literally just burped into my mask when it was time to talk. So my eyes were teared up a little bit.
okay, let's go to. So again, it was Super Saturday, small businesses.
Thank you.
And it was really exciting because you went to all these places, all locally owned. The
Yes.
jewelry store, it was locally owned, third generation. And you had the SBA lady was there.
We did. We had Althea Harris. We had you there. I think we had a couple of our board members.
You
We
had
had
the
our
one-
mayor.
You had an ambassador. What country is she from?
She is the honorary consul
Oh, consul.
of Portugal in Miami, Carolina Rendeiro, by way of New Jersey. And she's a past chair of our chamber and a great lady that's
She's wonderful.
supported us for a long time. She was my third chair that I worked with. Third.
Wow. Okay, let's get to something more interesting. Diamond Awards, December 15th, right around the corner. Oh, let's play this.
Diamonds and pearls.
So talk about
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Jay's Jewelers in Miracle Mile. I'm Jillian Hornick, third generation owner and graduate gemologist here at our store. And I'm here with Santa Claus. And he's looking to upgrade Mrs. Claus's diamond ring. There's no better time to do it than now. And there's nothing more classic than a simple diamond ring from a family jeweler.
Mrs. Claus would love that. Remember, important. Buy local, shop local, local owners, and the most important thing, everybody have a great holiday.
I'd like to add one thing to your list. It's not only, buy local, shop small, support local, find a Mrs. Claus.
that's going to be a different.
Is it still, and maybe some of the folks at home and listening in can share with us, is it still the rule of thumb that when you're buying an engagement ring, it's 3 months' salary that a man should spend? That was what I remember being
Who
in
told you
college, and
that?
guys were talking about it. And I'm thinking, that's perfect because I don't make any money. So 3 times 0 is 3.
Really?
0.
Okay. Let's get the comments back up. Okay, let's talk about Diamond Awards, December 15th. What's the story
Yes.
about that?
So these are our signature awards. This is our 23rd year of celebrating what's sparkling about business. And last week on our show, you remember I announced all of the 27 finalists, which was pretty darn cool. But I have another announcement here today that
Hold
we
on, little
made.
drum roll. Go.
And I know this is very close to your heart, but we have named our outstanding business leader of the year, who will honor on December 15th, Dr. Penny Schaefer. PhD, Florida Blue Market President, is going to receive our Business Leader of the Year awards. We had a great call last week and talked a little bit about, her receiving the award and how we can put that together in a appropriate way, because her folks are not attending events. So we're going to do something zoomed in and something pre-recorded. And I couldn't be happier. Penny has been a great supporter of our chamber, not only individually, but empowering her folks like Martha de la Peña and others to really be involved, and Grace Eves and the whole group. They've been with us in Tallahassee and DC, and of course a major part of our board and leadership, as Martha is a past chair of the chamber.
She just added a huge addition, George Martinez.
She did. George has moved on from his time at Conrad Martinez and is in a great role there. I think he's been there less than a month at this point.
Yeah, I think it was a great move.
He
by
was
George.
a member of our board for a number of years. He's just a lot of fun. He's a huge hurricane. So we love to kind of mix it up. And you know what? Just a really brilliant mind when it comes to marketing, communications. Great writer, great social media adeptness.
Wow. A lot
Really
of compliments
appreciate
for you,
him.
George. That's
I
pretty impressive.
know.
Okay.
Love you, George.
Global affair program. Are you having an affair with somebody global, or what is that?
Gosh, that sounds like a great idea.
Global?
I mean, you know, things like Tinder are global. No, we have a very active international group. This morning, they had a great meeting where they welcomed the new head of the International Trade Consortium of Miami-Dade County, a guy named Jonathan Ward. And again, like anything, we're looking for opportunities to partner. He said something which I really liked at the end of his comments. He says, you know, after hearing all of the things that your chamber and Coral Gables and the local community in the City Beautiful are involved with, our multinationals, our consular offices, he says a city of your size is, quote, punching way above its weight. And I think that's the greatest compliment you can pay to the work that we do. And a lot of that just comes from, you know, sheer stick-to-itiveness and just being good collaborators. So we're spending a lot of our days these days finding folks that we can work with, partner with, and collaborate with, whether it's the other local chambers, whether it's groups like Fem City, or what we're going to be doing with the ITC. We have a really great
What's
idea.
ITC?
That's the International Trade Consortium. They are a county department focused on inbound and outbound missions. They work with the sister cities programs, and they're very involved in trade.
That jacket is dashing. Where'd you get that again?
So this was my 12th and final stop on Small Business Saturday, was at Artigiano. And they made me this, locally owned. Alex Odio, his partners, George and Waldo, they were all there.
Alex used to be in the shoe business at Kavanaugh's.
He was at Kavanaugh's. He was.
Good,
and then he came over to Merrick Park and then said, you know what, I can do this. And he struck on his own a number of years ago, probably nearly 20 years ago. But while I was there, I got to see the pictures of the new grandbaby. Really just cool to see his family growing. You know, I think at some point, most of the family has worked with him in the shop. That's how family businesses work. Look at Jill. She's now, you know, a certified gemologist, and she'll be the next generation after Bruce decides to hang up his gemstones.
Do you know where Bruce grew up?
I don't know this.
A couple blocks behind here.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know one another?
No, I think it was, he's how old is he?
I don't know. He's probably late 50s.
Yeah, but he grew up back here. We talked about it.
Notice how you quickly pivoted away from that conversation.
WDW tonight. What is that?
Tomorrow night is our Wind Down Wednesday. Super excited to have our first in-person event, limited to 25 people. We'll be outside in this gorgeous weather at Clutchburger. So they're going to set the tables up for 6, but only have 4, and it's limited to 25 people. That includes myself.
Is it sold out already?
It is sold out. There may be 3 or 4 seats. Check in with Erica. I'll ask Morgan to check that out. But I know yesterday we only had 5 left. And so, you know, folks are chomping at the bit. That's at 5.
Wow.
You'll have your temperature taken. You'll wear your mask. And I already mentioned how we're going to set up social distancing. Everybody will get a slider burger and 1 drink. 1 slider? That's it? I think
Steve,
we'll be okay.
Steve, really? 1 slider?
He's so generous. I think we'll buy the second one. So
wow, that's exciting. And I know it's gonna be a little nerve-wracking.
I'm nervous, and not because of, you know, spikes in cases, because we're seeing that across the country. I'm just nervous that folks will let their guard down a bit because they're so excited to be around somebody. So we're going to limit the handshaking, we're going to limit the hugging, but please keep that mask on. And we're going to try to have people sit together who are already kind of a pod, either they're related, married, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend. You and me, or work in the same office. So we're trying to figure that out.
It's interesting. I told you I went to a Dolphin game down the beginning. They had
I don't know if I knew that.
They had somebody walking around
through
the stadium. Each section had somebody
checking,
said mask on. And you without realizing you bring it down, even though we're in our own pod.
It happens naturally. I mean, what happens, and this is one of the reasons I love the way my
we got 4 spots left. Going.
All right, 4 spots left, folks. Going. It's only, I think, $10 to go. And you get a cocktail or beer, and you get a slider.
Wow.
And you get camaraderie. So like the way my team makes it, see how they kind of scoop down? So that way you don't fog up your glasses. And they got these cool things on the end. We get better both in our mask making and making them cool and branded. But I know what happens because you can't hear as well, and you pull it down, and you get fogged up. But folks, please take as much care of yourselves as possible. We're only going to get, the spike is now at about 8.5%. We want to be 5 or under.
So speak about, my brother and I get tested once a week.
Yes.
I go to Tropical Park.
Yes.
I make a reservation.
I got to talk to you about that.
Oh, you want me to tell you what happened to me?
Yeah.
I call. I go on the computer.
Yeah. Miami-Dade.gov, and then they direct you.
Sunday.
Yeah.
My appointment was at 9:30.
Yeah.
There's a link where you can register for it.
All right, check it out. There's the link. By the way, huge kudos to the Tropical Park folks, because I also went on Sunday.
And it was so quick. I slowed down. I gave him my ID, the thing. I did the test. I was in and out of Tropical Park less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it takes 5 minutes to drive
all the way to the back. Yeah. Well, I have the same story.
But yours is better.
No, it's not. I got a text from one of our team members who was doing some contact tracing, and I was inside that trace, and I heard about it on Saturday after we'd seen each other. And so I made an appointment the next morning for 3:30. I figure at the end of the day on a Sunday during the Dolphins game, it'll be empty. So I got there at 3:25. I was out at 3:37. And they're so nice. And the only reason that it took 2 more minutes than you is the car in front of me, I think, had 6 people doing the swabbing and kids. So I couldn't get around them. But I was in and out.
Yeah.
And I had my results the next day at 11:05 p.m.
Yeah.
I was negative.
So
thank you.
Usually it takes less than 24 hours. They
Amazing.
email it. So everybody, if you're questioning, it doesn't cost you anything.
Go to Tropical Park. Now it's going to be crazy there. But we also sent 3 of our staff members to go there and get tested to make sure that everybody was safe, because that's our protocol. If we have one person in the trace, then we have everybody sent, and everybody has come back negative. So
yeah, so it's great.
We have to be careful.
Yeah, and
they did awesome. And you know what? The only thing that's a little bit kind of shocking to the system, and one of our team was talking about this yesterday on our call, is seeing like the National Guard out there and the police. It's something a little bit out of a movie. But the reality is that that's the world we live in. We need to be comfortable with it, confident with it, and get tested. And you know what? Other than them, checking my QR code and making sure everything matched, my window was down for seconds, down to take in the bag, put it back up, down to hand the specimen back over.
So I go every week.
Yeah. And you just do it because you're out and about.
Well, true. And I'm just,
Are you symptomatic of any time?
No, I eat like a pig. I smell everything. Don't worry. I had a half a chicken, almost a full chicken.
I love how those follow in that order. What you're saying is you have the sense of smell.
I got a lot and sense to eat. So and that has nothing to do with anything. But yes, I'm out, but I just want to be careful. I'm here at the office, but we all try to wear a mask as possible. And when the wine Wednesday, it's going to be important.
Yes.
The chamber is setting an example for everybody.
And when you arrive, 3 things will happen. 1, we're not doing the name tag. We're going to give you a wristband just so we can identify you. You put that on yourself. We're going to take your temperature. And most importantly, we're going to remind you to socially distance. And that'll be dictated by the seats.
So starting the next chamber event, I think you should put a stick or something that marks 6 feet so we know the distance. A beeper.
Who would have guessed, right? Who would have guessed? We're talking about what that's going to look like. We're talking about the Good Morning Coral Gables breakfast in December.
And how many people are going to be allowed to go?
We probably wouldn't allow more than 50 because that ballroom holds 300 plus. So if you socially distance, you might at a ballroom table have only 3 people.
And you could be in your, if it's your people, you could have.
Listen, we took 2 polls 2 weeks ago, and 72% of our members who were at those 2 events, one was a breakfast, one was a women's lunch, said, we're ready. We want you to do what you're talking about, your protocols, but we're ready. And, I have to listen to what our members tell us, but I also have to remind everybody that we're seeing some unprecedented spikes, and I'll feel more comfortable in another week to 10 days after Thanksgiving to see what we're dealing with, because we're already dealing with higher numbers. Over 6,000 yesterday, 7,000 the day before.
In Florida,
passing 1 million positive cases. Remember, Florida was lagging every other state for months and months and months. And now with more readily available testing, and I think people being a little bit more judicious, we're seeing, I think, the truer numbers. But I think there are still people who are asymptomatic and don't really contact trace or don't think about it. We had an employee who went to the public library and then was like, oh my gosh, that's not something I've done in 9 months. And shared it with us. And I said, well, I think you're going to be all right. But it's good to think about things that are in your routine, that were out of your routine, that maybe you've added back. People are starting to go back and see their doctors. It's very important. But things can happen in those situations, even if they have you wait outside until your appointment. And, any number of other just slip of the mind thing.
All right. We got Tro Knows.
We do.
The CEO of, you want to talk about that?
So it's our 10th year of Tro Knows, and we love this program because it's every first Friday, and we're having an opportunity to have both Bruce and Jill, father and daughter, join us, and we're honoring them, as you know, as part of Small Business Saturday and the whole month of December. And so first time we're having a retailer father and daughter together. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be on Zoom, but
they're on Miracle Mile. That's a great subject
by
itself.
267 Miracle Mile, and great storefront right there in the middle of the block.
That diamond ring will look good on my hand, so keep that in mind.
Okay. I think it'll look good on any hand. What do you wear, like a 15?
Compared to you, no. Book club. What's the story?
That's my ring size. Did you know that?
Yes.
15.
Book club. What's the story about? What's happening?
So this is our 6th month of the book club, and we're going to have Michael Padraig Acton joining us, and he's written a book about codependency. I'm really inspired to tell you that we've had over 30 people already register, and I think it's because we're all thinking and we're all thinking right now about what's going on in our lives. We've been home a lot. We've been with our partners a lot. We've been with our families a lot. We might be dealing with some mental health issues. It could be codependency. It could be narcissism. It could be, I was going to say socialism, but I don't think that's right. But I think a lot of us are very caught up in the fact that, we've been in the same space. If you worry about being in a rut, let's dig out of that. So the reality is that our book club is a lot of fun. First Citizens Bank and Sarah Hernandez are our partner sponsors. And that'll be this Friday at noon, December 4th at noon.
At lunchtime, everybody
reads It's Business Book Lunch and Learn. So we tell people to come with their lunch, come on the Zoom. We won't judge you for chewing with your mouth closed or anything.
It's pretty cool. At lunchtime, people like that. It gives them a break.
I'm amazed. So last night, we had this town hall that ran almost 4 hours. So people are just getting home from work. Some of them started, I think, the call in their car and then got home and Zoomed in. And with their cameras on, they're having dinner or they're having a snack. And I think they forget that you are on your camera. And so there was one particular, and everybody, I'm watching for sure. And one woman who I know pretty well, she was working a bottle of wine very hard. And she had at least 3 glasses in the time that her camera was on. So cheers. I won't mention any names, but the next time I see her in person, I'm going to make a little joke with her.
All right, next week we have something with Gems coming up. What's happening next week?
So next week I'm bringing our first Gem member in for
right here. She's going to sit right here.
Our show, and super excited about that. So I'll be working on kind of the Q&A to have. It's Lillian Sir from Sir & Associates, a business attorney, a Gem level member of ours. Lily also serves on our board, is on the Bar Association out in Doral. But she has been for us, the Chamber, such a great asset and partner. She's helped us with our PPP forgiveness program. She's curated and narrated a CARES Act program, which she'll do with us again in early 2021. And listen, November was great. December needs to be on par, if not better, because I think if we're able to tell these stories of what we're seeing on Small Business Saturday and 15 new member investors and bringing people to the table for programs.
I like that word, investors.
Well, certainly when you're a trustee and you're spending $3,000, you've made an investment. Because if you think about it, what are you spending money on in your business right now? Your employees, your rent, your power bill, whatever, software you might need to power your business. But you're also investing in developing new clients. And I really think if we don't have the best mindset about 2021, if we don't have our best foot forward. So listen to what we're planning for the rest of the month. I already mentioned this week's programs. We have our Reconnect lunch tomorrow at noon. We have our Wind Down Wednesday in person tomorrow. 4 spaces left. Morgan, give me an update if any of those sell between now and the end of this show. We have our book club and our Tro Knows. That's all happening on Friday. Then later in the month, we're doing a program with Dale Carnegie Training on virtual selling. We talked a little bit about our breakfast, but in early January, we're doing a cool program called Dear 46. And it's a love letter from the business community to our new president. And it's really a conversation about what is it that small businesses and businesses of all sizes are going to need in the new administration to recover. So think about that from the SBA's priorities. Is there going to be another stimulus round? Is there going to be more PPP? Let's talk about that, please. And that's what that program, led by Louis Chiappi of Equitable, and they'll be our partner along with Amarant Bank.
Louis is a perfect example of a great community person.
Agreed.
He walks the walk, talks the talk. He does everything, and he's a great. He's not show off. He's not leading the pack. He just does what he thinks.
We're so blessed because he had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I just want to check in with you, see how the chamber is doing." He's a past chairman of our chamber. He was chairman in 2000, and so it's been 20 years since he was chair. But he has remained involved all 20 of those years since then. He's our title sponsor for our Businesswomen of the Year awards.
A great
and
event.
He's very active in the community. And I think that he realized early on, not only for his book of business, but as he grew and became the national brand leader for Equitable, that it was great to really educate and inspire the people that were coming in and coming up under him. And so he just wanted to have a chat. And we came up with this idea for the program really on the fly. I said, "What can we do for you?" He goes, "No, what can I be doing for the chamber?" And let me tell you something. Nothing makes the heart sing more than when somebody says to you, "What can I do to help you?" There isn't a day that goes by that we're not reaching out, that we're not connecting, that we're not following up on somebody who says, "I need a favor," or I don't think of it as a favor. You're a member of the chamber. So if we have a connection, let's make that connection work. So, that's how I think people not only join our chamber, but stay involved and engaged. Think about that with Louis. 20 years.
When he says what I do for the chamber, what he means is what can he do for our community?
Absolutely.
And
our chamber is the conduit for that. So this program, I think, will not only showcase his expertise, but it's really going to be a great sense of what's going forward. I asked him, I said, the market is holding steady. We were only a few days past the election, and they hadn't called the presidency formally yet. But there was a lot of talk about what was happening in the U.S. Senate. Right now it's 50-46 with 2 independents who typically vote with the Democrats. So you can say it's 50-48. He says, for the market likes balance. So the market would like to see the Georgia Senate races split. There'd be 1 Republican and 1 Democrat, or at least 1 Republican, so that you end up with a Republican, very, very modest majority, but a majority in the Senate. That split government gives a lot of confidence to the market. And listen, the chamber is invested in the market. When we sold our building, we took about $500,000 in those building proceeds and we put them in an account. And we've got professionals working that on the cash side, on the investment side. And in just 6 months, it spun off $15,000, which then is money we use to power our Welcome Center. And so, for us, we never had that before because we were like every other nonprofit. We had a building that was expensive. We were paying those bills. And here we are now putting that building and its proceeds to good use for the future of the chamber now and long into the future.
We have the World AIDS Day coming up.
So today is World AIDS Day.
Today?
December 1st is always World AIDS Day. And I just remind people of that because, I grew up in an era, and you did too, where we lost a lot of friends to AIDS. It was a disease in the 80s and certainly early 90s that we didn't know a lot about. We knew it was, immune based, but, I want everybody who's listening to remember 2 things. One, today's a great day of reflection, but it's also a day of joy to celebrate the fact that we learn more about HIV every day, especially with folks who are living with HIV, who live very long, fulfilling, and rich lives because they take a particular brand of medicine that they call a cocktail, and it works. So much like with diabetes and other chronic diseases, we have found ways to manage diseases like HIV and AIDS. But the problem is that Miami continues to have a very high infection rate.
It's number one.
It's in terms of large urban cities, yeah, of new infections.
Right.
And I struggle with that because there's a lot of education out there. You can take medicine like PrEP, Truvada that help you, but you still have to make good decisions. You still need to, use protection, men and women, gay and straight, and be healthy for one another, be honest with one another. So just a day to be reflective. I've lost friends. I certainly have friends living with HIV. But I'm amazed that from the time I was in college, where I was involved with educating students about HIV, there was a big initiative back then by C. Everett Koop, who was our Surgeon General, to educate the American public about the truth and the realities, because we thought at first this just affected gay men. Well, obviously, very quickly we learned that wasn't the case. Disproportionate in minority groups, and it wasn't a gay disease anywhere else in the world, just in the United States. And so we were out educating fraternities, sororities, young people who might engage in some risky behavior. And here we are now, 35 years later, and we have not a cure, but we have a manageable disease. But we have to continue to be diligent. And really, that's where Anthony Fauci got his start. He was working in infectious diseases and working very, very early on in HIV and AIDS. And he himself will tell you he had to be educated early on about the disease.
Okay, so what's up next for the chamber?
So December is here. It's going to be a rip-roaring great month. I want to thank all of you who were part of that group of 15 that joined us. I want to thank those of you that continue to renew your memberships. We're just a very blessed chamber. All of our local chambers are busy and active, so connect with them. If you're not as connected with us, get to know them. I was on a call this morning with the GMCVB about welcome centers. Our first meeting since we opened ours in October. And that was awesome because there were 5 other chambers on that call who were also involved in managing their visitor center.
What are the chambers?
Miami Beach, Key Biscayne, the Gay and Lesbian Chamber. I'm missing the other 2, but sorry. Remember where the gentleman is, like North Miami Beach, and I can't remember the other one. And then us. We're the 5th.
Well, it's exciting because we need to get the tourism back.
That's the number one conversation. Many of those are closed right now or are on appointment only.
You have another hotel opening soon?
We do. We're looking forward to not only the great work of, the properties that are opening, but what they bring. Having, a flag like the Lowe's is something incredible. And if you drive by that project, every day there's a magical change to it because it's getting so close to being open.
Well, it's exciting because now you can have how many major hotels? You got the Hyatt, you got
you have a Hyatt. The Colonnade used to have a different flag, but it flies a flag on its own. But it's of a caliber of a 4-star hotel when it was previously the Westin. The Biltmore is a leading hotel of the world, and then you have Marriott there in terms of the Courtyard. But for that price point and location, you can't beat that beautiful property.
And what's the one right on Lejeune, right near Miracle Mile?
That's the Courtyard. Oh, the Aloft. Great property, another Marriott property. They're probably half a mile from each other. You have the new Thesis Hotel, a flag unto its own. Great property. On US 1, you'll have a new boutique hotel near Merrick Park, looking to break ground on that very soon.
So it's exciting. That brings tourists. That brings business people.
It does. And those folks are consumers of every ilk, whether they go in their shops, whether they're staying at our hotel, or whether they're eating in our restaurants. We need them. And we need them starting today.
All right. Are we ready to wrap it up, Tommy? We got some going?
Yeah.
And
special.
Sing it, Mark.
Christmas gave you my heart.
You gave it to me?
Very next day, you gave it away. Isn't that painful? That is like the story of my life.
What's the story of your life?
Of me giving my heart away, and then the people either stomp on it, ghost it, set it aflame, or drop it on the ground. I mean,
Mark, we're going to close out this Grant Miller, but I will never ghost you. Everybody, Mark from Coral Gables Chamber, who's proud to be #1 in South Florida, ranked by South Florida Business Journal. Grant Miller, Miami Community Newspapers. Everybody have a great day.